76A, Dana Larson in a Merlin Mark 29. That's a 35-car field as we await the green flag. The pace car is already on its way back to the paddock. Race cars on the track and lined up 2 by 2, looking pretty good. Straggly at the back, but we've got it looking good at the front of the field. As they come out of turn 14 and approach the starter. Starter giving them the evil eye, going, get it together. They got it together, and they get the green flag. Early lead to the 63 of Pilgrim as Kim Madrid hangs on in second place, but there's a challenge for that second place as we've got cars about 6 wide going down the front straight towards turn 1. Pilgrim's at the sharp end of the pencil. He makes it into turn 1, has that front spot. And it looks like the front about dozen or so cars get through turn 1 cleanly. Not sure about the rest. Can't see from our vantage point. And all the action at the moment is focused on the front of the field. Pilgrim starting to break away. Kim Madrid now back to third and being pressed by a number of cars. It looks like Kim Madrid may well have a problem. Could be a flat tire or something, but she is pulled off the track and is out of harm's way, so it doesn't look like we're going to see a yellow flag, but that is very hard luck for Kim Madrid. She's been having an excellent week here at IMS, and it didn't work out so well at the start of this race. A little brake lock up from the 182 of Adam Stanton. He hangs on, doesn't lose a spot as the cars continue to make their way around the racetrack to complete their first lap under green. Coming through turns 12 and 13. And yes, Kim Madrid is parked. And I can't really tell if she does have a flat, it's going to be on the right front, as the other 3 tires look fine. There goes the 63 of Pilgrim. He's your leader. Into second place, the 64 of Ray Stevens. He's 0.4 of a second back from Pilgrim. Then it's the 8A of Wes Allen, the 414 of Chris Aragante, and the 182 of Adam Stanton. Those are your front 5. A lot of places changing hands on that opening lap. Running 6th now, the 58 of Mike Wyrick in the zinc, with the 98A of Trevor Bond chasing him. Then it's John Gaither, number 51, the 55 of Tony Jimenez, and 76 Brett Gann. Those are your front 10. And we just got word that the problem for Kim Madrid, broken front suspension. So that is hard luck for her. And hopefully she'll be able to get that car repaired, as they do have another race coming up during the course of the weekend. Andy Pilgrim still showing the way around in that Crossley 25. 64, Ray Stevens putting the pressure on. He was 0.4 of a second back on the opening lap as we await the cars to come out of turn 14 and head down the front straight. We'll see them shortly. They'll cross start finish, and we'll get a measurement of that interval between. And it is still 0.4 of a second separating first from second. It looks like Stevens is closing up now, though, as they go to turn 1. Stevens going to the inside. Unable to make the pass. He's still behind Pilgrim, but didn't lose any ground on that effort. Meanwhile, the 51 of John Gaither has moved into 5th, getting around the 58 of Mike Wyrick. Also picking up a spot, the 3 of Gregory Stam in the Swift DB1. He's 10th now in car number 3. The 91 of Roland Johnson up into 13 as he gets around the 77B of Mark Repka. Again, this is the first half of the Formula Ford grid. It's roughly 3 dozen cars that we had out for the pace lap. And we've got about the same number in race group 2B. We'll see Andy Pilgrim out one more time in his Ferrari 458 a little later in the day. I mean, if you're going to come to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, you might as well bring a couple cars and get a lot of track time. Down the front straight, love that long shot. As Pilgrim once again sets up for turn one, Stevens closes up as they go into the corner. '98A, Trevor Bond picking up one more spot as he moves into 7th. '27A, Doug Bruce getting around the 33 of Trout Roberts. '960 Rick Little in the Macon ML7. And our congratulations to our first group of winners from race groups 1, 3, and 4. Getting our day off to a great start. Good shot. And it looks like we have a car that has made contact with the wall. And that was the number 64 of Ray Stevens. He was in second place. He was the driver chasing our leader, the 63A of Andy Pilgrim. And now all that's for naught. We call your attention to the big screen as we'll see a replay of this. They both go way wide on that corner. And there, it looks like what happened was he got the left side tires, Stevens getting the left side tires up there on the paint on the outside of that turn, and just lost grip, spun around, went right across the track, and backed into the wall. Bad luck for Ray Stevens. '8A, Wes Allen, the benefactor of that incident with Stevens, as he takes over second place. He's about 6 seconds back out of the front from Pilgrim. 414, Chris Aragante running in third with the 51 of John Gaither, the 58 of Mike Wyrick, your front five. Full course yellow. As we get our safety crew out to retrieve Ray Stevens' Crosley after contact with the wall. It's just great to have a field that's this large, and when you realize that it's just half of the field for the Formula Fords, it gives you an idea of how many people, how many drivers look to Indianapolis Motor Speedway as one of those bucket list racetracks. When you're racing at the club level, vintage level, this is the track that you look forward to putting four wheels on. full course yellow still in effect. So while we see cars running at speed now, their main goal is to catch up to the group with the pace car. So when there is a restart, they're in a good position to maybe make up some ground. And once again, we see the field on the backstretch trying to get some heat in those tires and keep whatever heat they had before in them. We'll have one more lap under the yellow, as the safety crew is on hand and the driver walking back to the medical care, as he will need to get checked out after that impact with the wall. But from our vantage point, looking good. He's under his own power, no assistance, so Ray Stevens doing well at the moment under the circumstances. And with the pace car on the front straight, that indicates, yes, indeed, we will get one more lap. And there should be enough time for about three or four more laps under this this race. Again, this is race group 2A. Your front 10, the 63A of Andy Pilgrim in the Crosley 25F. And he is also the one setting the fastest race lap at the moment at a 1:41.6. Running second, the 8A of Wes Allen in the Eagle with 4:14, Chris Aragante in a Crosley, John Gaither, number 51, in the PRS, and in the Zinc Z10, 58, Mike Wyrick. That's your front five. 6 through 10, we've got the 98A of Trevor Bond. In 7th, 182, Adam Stanton. The 3 of Gregory Stam in 8th. 55, Tony Jimenez in 9th, and Brett Gann, car number 76, in a Lola T342 in 10th. We're about 10 minutes away from the Jaguar Autocross opening. Again, this is a complimentary opportunity from our friends at Jaguar Land Rover for you to experience what it's like to drive a new Jaguar F-Type on the autocross course that has been specially designed for the event here at IMS. So if you're 21 and over, you've got a valid driver's license, and you've got closed-toed shoes, you're welcome to come over here to the infield portion of the racetrack, make your way to Garage 31, And that is where you'll find the sign-up booth for the Jaguar Autocross. It's all complimentary. They've got a shuttle that'll run you down to the autocross course and bring you back. You'll get expert instruction from instructors like Davy Jones and Roberto Guerrero, among others that are here this weekend with us. They'll give you a couple laps of instruction in that Jaguar F-Type, 550 horsepower in that Jag too. And once you get the couple laps of instruction, they'll swap seats with you. They'll be in the passenger seat and you'll be in the driver's seat, and see what kind of time you can put in on that autocross course. So we hope you'll take advantage of that. And again, it opens at 9 o'clock. It'll run till 5 today. And tomorrow it's 9 to 4 if you plan on coming back. Looking for a green flag for the restart this time around. We've got it. And let's see what Pilgrim can do to hang on to that lead, as he has been pressured right now by the 8A as well as the 414. The 8A, Wes Allen in the Eagle. 414, Chris Aragante in the Crosley. They come down the front straight, headed towards turn 1. It's Pilgrim with the advantage. He's got the short line, got the apex, and ready for turn 2. It's a wide entry to that corner, but boy, does it tighten up. Not very forgiving on occasion. But Pilgrim already stretching out a bit of a lead as the restart is underway. Race groups 10 and 12A to pre-grid, please. Race groups 10 and 12A to pre-grid. Looks like this group's going to get their checkered flag next time around. They're into turn 12 and 13 with your front group. Should be coming into view momentarily. Checkered flag is waving for 63A, Andy Pilgrim. The 8A of Wes Allen, the 414 of Chris Aragante. Tony Jimenez, number 55, picks up 4th spot on that last lap, getting around the 51 of John Gaither, who finishes in 5th. The 58 of Mike Wyrick in 6th. Making a move on the last lap, a couple drivers. 182 Adam Stanton finishing in 7th, with the 98A of Trevor Bond in 8th. 9th, the 76 of Brett Gann, and finishing 10th. Car number 3, Gregory Stam. That is your top 10 in the first of 2 Formula Ford feature races today. Giving you an idea of what our schedule is like, we've got our feature races up through roughly 11:30. And at 11:30, the TA2 class will be out. Trans Am presented by Pirelli, their TA2 group. Boy, that's a barn burner group, too. They'll have a 30-minute practice session. That'll be followed by our Vintage Race of Champions Charity Pro-Am. That'll have the pre-race function beginning at 12 noon and the race starting at 1:15. And if that's not enough, immediately following the Vintage Race of Champions, it's the feature race for the TA, Super GT, and GT classes of the Trans Am Series with their 75-minute race. That'll be beginning at 2:35. If that's not enough, TA2 comes back and they qualify at 3:50. And as we get towards the end of the afternoon, we'll have our feature race for Group 6, and also if you're a fan of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the history that goes along with this racetrack, you'll want to be here late in the afternoon for the pre-war exhibition cars. We have about 8 pre-war cars from the early 1900s and 1920s, and they will be out on track for some exhibition laps. These are amazing cars to be kept in this condition and have the history that they do. It's really a treat to have them as part of the celebration here for SVRA's Brickyard Vintage Racing Invitational. Race groups 10 and 12A, you should be at pre-grid. Your feature race coming up. SVRA is the only vintage racing series that runs all over the country. It's national, running from Southern California at Auto Club Speedway up into the Northeast, Lime Rock Park and Watkins Glen, from Sebring down in Florida up to Portland International Raceway in Oregon. Many stops in between. It's a full season, and it's big fun. We get a lot of racers from all over the country, and we are running at some great racetracks. If you'd like to join SVRA, we've got the SVRA location, our booth behind the pagoda on the plaza. And you'll find there not only information on joining SVRA, but also you can pick up a copy of Speed Tour Quarterly Magazine. It's the official magazine of SVRA with features on Trans Am presented by Pirelli, as well as other vintage and historical events and IGT racing. You'll find t-shirts, caps, visors, all of those things at the SVRA trailer, and we also invite you to just slide over a little bit to your right and visit the folks at the Morgan Adams Foundation and find out what you can do to help in the research for pediatric cancer. They are our charity that we're working with for our Vintage Race of Champions, and they can definitely use your help. They've been around for over 20 years, and the money that they raise goes to the research. It doesn't go to administration. So if you'd like to help out and find out more about that group, they do have a location on the plaza behind the pagoda. Up next, race groups 10 and 12A. The Jaguar Autocross is just about ready to open. They start at 9 o'clock. That gives the instructors and everybody else a couple hours to get the autocross course set up for the day and get ready for you. It's all complimentary, courtesy of Jaguar. They've got a group of instructors that'll show you the finer points of navigating that autocross course. And then after those instructional laps, it's your turn behind the wheel. If you're 21 and over with valid driver's license and closed-toed shoes. Pretty easy requirements for this. There's no excuse for you not to do it. When was the last time somebody invited you to drive a new Jaguar F-Type on an autocross course and it doesn't cost you a cent? They don't even want to sell you a car. If you decide to buy one, that's cool, but they're not in the salesmanship business. They're in here to give you the opportunity to experience what it's like to drive a new Jaguar, or even also, as cool, the all-electric I-Pace. That electric vehicle will just amaze you at its power and its agility and its ability as well. So you'll get all of that complimentary, courtesy of Jaguar, at their autocross course. You can sign up. Garage 31 is the location, or you can do that at their static display just off the plaza. And they can sign you up there and shuttle you down to the autocross course and back. It's running all day. You don't have to get up now, but if you want to get it out of the way and then be able to relax here and watch the rest of the racing, that'd probably be a good idea. The lines won't be long as they're just getting started. Also coming up at 10 o'clock this morning, it's the Hagerty Cars and Caffeine Car Show. And you're invited to come and vote for the People's Choice Award. So our fans and spectators, the car show is located at 7th and Foyt Drive, and you can come by and vote for your choice, your favorite. So we hope to see you there as well. A lot of fine cars, well over 100 vehicles are going to be in the car show. So we hope you'll make it there. This is race groups 10 and 12A coming out on course. And I mentioned earlier that your race winner in the Formula Ford's Andy Pilgrim would be out in his Ferrari 458. This is the race we're talking about, and it is Pilgrim that's on the pole. Andy Pilgrim, car number 53, with a fast lap of a 127.7. Also on the front row along with him is car number 24, that's Bruce Raymond in a Pontiac Firebird. Second row, the number 20 of Matt Gritt in a Chevy Monte Carlo, and the Pontiac Grand Prix of Wally Dallenbach Jr., car number 2. Third row, it's the double 5 of Zach Arnold. Arnold's driving a Corvette. And also in that third row, the Cadillac CTS VR of Bill Heifner, car number 5. Fourth row, the 29 of Samuel Lecomte. Lecomte's in a Monte Carlo, driving the Chevy Camaro, number 36, Jason Braun. Row 5, car number 33, Greg Richardson in a Camaro, and the Aston Martin GT4 of Steve Davison, car number 22A. Sixth row, Michael Miles in a Ford Taurus, number 94, and the 22B of Scott Borchetta in the Buick Regal. You're hearing car names that you wouldn't expect to see on the racetrack. These are all former Cup cars that are part of race groups 10 and 12A. They're in group 10 to be specific. In the seventh row, it's the 12 of Richard Matkovich in a Corvette, and the 45 of Cliff Sigmund in the Dodge Charger. Row number 8, 01, Rodney Reston in a Monte Carlo, also driving a Monte Carlo, car number 5A, Larry Hoopaw. Ninth row, it's the 21 of Donnie Gould in the Thunderbird, and the Ford Taurus of Carlos Gann, number 21A. Row 10, 68, Jay Carley in a Camaro, and the Porsche 911 RSR of Stan Crawford, number 71. Car 30, Mark Horner in the Corvette, and 9A, Glenn Andrew in the Pontiac Grand Prix are in the 11th row. For the 12th row, number 98, John Ash in a Thunderbird in the Corvette of Rick Ortman in number 26. 13th and final row, car 57, Frank Rauscher in a Porsche 911 RSR, and the number 11, John Miller in the Chevy Corvette. That's your field, 26 strong for race groups 10 and 12A. Lights are out on the pace car. We should be getting a green flag this time around as the pace car exits into the paddock. And the field starts to wind their way through those final couple corners before they come out of turn 14 and onto the front stretch. Looking pretty good. We've got the first dozen cars lined up 2 by 2. The 53 of Pilgrim, the 24 of Raymond, your front row. The 20 of Grit, the 2 of Cloud on row 2. Waiting for the start. We've got the green flag. And the hammer gets dropped, and off to an early lead goes the 24 of Bruce Raymond, with the 53 of Andy Pilgrim running second. They come down the front straight, and now moving into the lead, making a pass going into turn 1, is the 53 of Andy Pilgrim. He takes over the lead from the 24 of Bruce Raymond. And look for Pilgrim to just set sail in that Ferrari 458. When it came to qualifying, Pilgrim's fast lap was roughly 6 seconds quicker than the car in second place, the number 24 of Bruce Raymond. And it looks like it is Wally Dallenbach Jr. that's in car number 2. And that car showing in 4th place on the last lap. Pilgrim jets by. He's got 4 seconds over second place, the 24 of Raymond. 55 Arnold in the Corvette running in 3rd. The 20 of Matt Gritt, the 29 of Samuel Lecomte, 21A Carlos Gann in 6th. Back in 7th, it's the number 2 of Dallenbach. 8, the 33 of Greg Richardson. He picks up a spot getting around the number 5 of Heifner in that Cadillac CTS. And completing the front 10, 36, Jason Braun in a Camaro. And we've got a spin. And that is the number 20. And that looks to be Matt Gritt that has spun on the back section. The 53 of Andy Pilgrim in the Ferrari 458, your leader. Pilgrim qualified with a time of 1:27.7. His fast lap this morning, a 1:28.6. Up to this point, there's still room for improvement. Samuel Lecomte picks up 3rd place, gets around the 55 of Zach Arnold. Arnold now in 4th with the 21A of Carlos Gann in the Ford Taurus in 5th. And a faster lap now from Pilgrim. He's at a 1:27.4, which is faster than the speed that the time that he set yesterday in qualifying. Great race for second place, the 24 of Bruce Raymond, the 29 of Samuel Lecomte, as they are separated by 0.3 of a second. They come down the front straight, head into turn one. And it looks like Lecomte makes the pass going into turn one, with the 24 of Raymond now in third. '29 of Samuel Lecomte locking up the brakes there going through turn four. They come down the backstretch, headed into turn six. Make that turn seven. Great shots up on the big screen. We invite you to take a look up there as well. Hard to cover everything when you've got a 2.4-mile road course here at IMS. So Pilgrim has already passed by, and now there's second place, 20 seconds back for the number 29 Chevy Monte Carlo of Samuel Lecomte. Third place, the 24 Bruce Raymond, about a second or so behind second place. SVRA proudly sponsored by Hagerty, the world's largest membership, insurance, and media organization, and it's directed at people who love cars. Be sure to visit the Hagerty Cars and Caffeine Car Show. Don't forget to cast your vote for the People's Choice Award winner. You need to do that before 1 o'clock this afternoon. And we just got a report that the driver that backed into the wall in the Formula V race, Ray Stevens, is okay. No problems. He did have to go to the infield care center to get checked out because of the impact with the wall, but everything is A-okay, and he's back at his paddock now. As Andy Pilgrim continues to show the way around the racetrack in the number 53 Ferrari 458. 29 Samuel Lecomte running second, the 24 of Bruce Raymond, the 55 of Zach Arnold, and 21A Carlos Gann. And the number of 20 of Matt Gritt, who had a spin earlier in this race, has now worked himself up into 17th place, and he was threatening to get by the 21 of Donnie Gould and take over 16th as they went by start-finish. If you just discovered that you forgot your earplugs, you're more than welcome to come over here to the infield section of the racetrack and stop by, I believe, Haggerty Insurance at their Pit Road Garage number 25. I believe they have earplugs available for you. And believe it or not, I believe they're complimentary. So if you'd like to get some earplugs, be sure and come this direction. No change in our front 8 on this last lap. Make that front 9 as the 22B of Scott Burketta goes by. That Corvette number 12 of Dick Matkovich in the Chevy Corvette, the white one that just went by start-finish. Car made the tow out from the Pacific Northwest. That car has been in the family since it was brand new. And that was back in 1968. Started out as the wife's car, and then it didn't last very long. It turned into a race car not too long after that. Looks like the 55 of Zach Arnold made his move on the 24 of Bruce Raymond, picked up that third place spot as they drag race down towards turn 1. So Zach Arnold thought he had him, but Bruce Raymond took that spot back. Now there's a drag race down the backstretch as they're heading for turn 7. It's still Raymond in third, the 55 of Arnold in fourth. They're through turn 7, headed to 8 now. Your leader, the 53 of Pilgrim, has now lapped up through 12th place as he just got by the 68 of Jake Carley. Carley driving a Chevy Camaro. Matt Gritton, the number 20, has moved up into 15th after that spin. Three wide coming through 14. Once again, the 55 of Zach Arnold putting the pressure on the 24 of Bruce Raymond. And Arnold makes the pass going into turn 12. Both of these drivers making little mistakes along the way. We've got some debris in the racetrack. And that may well bring out a debris flag as the 24 of Raymond gets back around the 55 of Arnold. One of the best races on the track during this race for groups 10 and 12A. The number 24 Pontiac Firebird and the number 55 Chevy Corvette. And coming down the front stretch, it is indeed the 24 of Raymond that has third place over the 55 of Zach Arnold. They've got a yellow Corvette in front of them, so that's going to slow things up. They've got to work their way around. The Corvette pulls over, lets the 24 of Raymond by. And then goes wide to let the 55 of Zach Arnold through. They're out of 6, headed towards 7 on that short chute on the back section. Raymond out there pedaling as fast as he can. The more of a gap he can put between himself and the 55, the less he's going to have to worry about it when they get to some of these corners on the back section. Seven-tenths of a second separated the 24 Bruce Raymond from the 55 of Zach Arnold on that last lap. They come out of 14, pass, start, finish. The gap now is about 1.6 seconds between third and fourth. The 24 of Raymond, the 55 of Arnold. '71 Stan Crawford making his way now down pit road after a rather lengthy stop in the pits. And he may well be going back to the paddock, can't really tell. '29 Samuel Lecomte shown in second place. Just passing start finish on his way toward turn one more time. '53 Andy Pilgrim is your leader in the Ferrari 458. Race groups 5, 7, and 11 to pre-grid, please. Groups 5, 7, and 11 to pre-grid. Once again, our leader, the 53 of Andy Pilgrim, finds himself in traffic, working his way through as best he can. The last thing he wants to do is mess up somebody else's race, so you want to pick your passing points very carefully. Pilgrim now coming up on the 33 of Greg Richardson, and if he gets past, or when he gets past Richardson, he will have lapped up through 6th place. 13 laps complete, working lap number 14. The checkered flag comes out, the win to the 53 of Andy Pilgrim. As we await the arrival of the 29 of Samuel Lecomte, shown in second. Matt Gritt, after that spin early in this race, worked his way into the top half of the field. Good drive from Gritt after some hard luck there in the early stages of this race. Still waiting for the second and third place cars. There is second, the 29 of Lecomte, as the 24 of Bruce Raymond in third crosses the stripe. The infamous yard of bricks. 55, Zach Arnold finishing in fourth. The 12 of Dick Matkovich in the Corvette, and the 21A of Carlos Gann, Gann finishing in fifth. So your front five, the 53 of Pilgrim, the 29 of Lecomte, 24 Bruce Raymond, 55 Zach Arnold, 21A Carlos Gann, your top five. And they are also your top five finishers in race group number 10. For Group 12A, it's the 30 of Mark Horner and the 26 of Rick Ortman, the 11 of John Miller.